Logic and Reason starts now. Oh, I guess I don't have an intro thing. Oh, there it is. I moved it. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, I restarted. Salutations, everybody. Welcome into the show. We obviously are rusty. Welcome to the show, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe. This is a live show, so, you know, crap happens. All right, let's get into it. BET Awards. The BET Awards was last Sunday, and I guess I would say it was mixed as far as what my impressions of this were. The old school dudes did a really good job. I think, you know, Busta Rhymes' set was nice. Mm-hmm. Who else that we saw there?
Busta Rhymes' set was for a little while.
Yeah, it was like really a 12-minute set on that one.
Yeah. Some old school.
This is one I remember. Coco Jones. I don't want to come after her because it seems like she first of all, she's one of the few women that actually had clothes.
So we thought. No, she did.
Well, compared to everybody, yeah. I mean, so for that, I will applaud you for that one. You had on like a dress and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Just had a really high slit.
Really high slit, and there was cheek exposed.
Oh, yeah.
There was cheek.
So can that count as a slit? I don't know.
But I would have to say, since we're just on her for right now, the performance was not that good. And the reason why I say this is because was she hitting a lot of notes? Yeah. Can she sing better than me? Absolutely. But she didn't seem like she was singing with her song. I mean, it is her song, right? Like, she's not doing a cover or anything like that. It's her track.
It was like best new artist, something,
right.
Some kind of award for best new artist.
And it almost seemed like she was fighting with her music. Like, she moved on to, I guess, another part of the song, and then the song was like kind of lagging behind, or maybe the song was ahead of her and she was, you know, lagging behind the music. Something was off. Yeah. But it didn't seem like she was in sync with the instrumentals. And then it seemed like she was over singing in some aspects, in certain parts of the song, where it's like it just didn't fit. Maybe this would have been better a cappella.
Maybe, but I think no, because they were also doing like water sounds.
Yeah, because she had the water. Imagery. She had the water,
and
she was like wet and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then it was randomly sponsored by Walmart. That was kind of random.
Because Walmart's here for Black women's health.
Right.
That's what the commercial said.
That's what it said. That's true. That is what it said. I guess we can run down the lineup here.
Yeah, let's see the lineup.
And of course, I lied. We can't run through the lineup because my stuff's messed up.
No, but
this is not it today.
Well, fair use. We can talk about some of them. So there were some oldies and some goodies, but there were also, of course, your standard like newer people: Ice Spice, Glorilla, Scantily Clad, or I'm messing up her name. Something Coy Leroy. I apologize, I messed up her name, but she actually came out with a nice performance outfit. So for what I've seen on social media about her, and even just from her own words, I wasn't expecting that. And she actually had some real dancing, not just twerking, because it seemed like the other performances for the two I just mentioned were actually more of gyrating. We'll probably get more to that later, but
well, we can get to it now. I mean,
okay.
I finally have it up.
Okay.
Her Gorilla.
Why you keep calling her the glow? I guess it's supposed to be like glow up. Like Glorilla. I don't know. I don't really know where the root of the name came from. I really just became more aware of her last week from some podcasts. So.
Yeah, she's from Memphis, right?
Yes.
She's from Memphis.
Sorry, when you said that, it made me think of that word they were saying everybody adds like an R to or something.
Merzik?
Oh, Merzik.
Merzik, yeah.
Everyone has their regional stuff, but that one threw me off.
So I guess that goes into one of the things I want to discuss about just overall, right? I think there was a glaring difference between the OGs and these new people. And when Busta went on the set, even not even super old people like Migos, and when they hit the stage, everybody knew their songs. The songs were bangers. I don't know how popular Glorilla is. I guess now I've transitioned to being an old geezer. But
Yeah, I'm right there with you then.
But just from a musical standpoint of just looking at what was displayed at the BET Awards. Again, I don't know her catalog like that.
Oh no,
You can't compare it to what the other people did, the OG folks.
No,
It doesn't hit the same. And maybe it's just me. Like, okay, rewind a little bit more when it comes to.
wasn't even focus on the music, but go ahead. Yeah.
Well, because I'm about to make a point about the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I wanna preface this with, I don't have anything against female rappers, and also,
I do.
well, I don't. So I don't have any issue with female rappers, and also, female rappers talking about their sexuality is not new. Right? That's not a new concept.
Right.
Missy Elliott talked about her sexuality. Salt and Pepper did as well. MC Light to a lesser extent. Eve, she did that as well. Left Eye to a lesser extent. She actually had like other lyrics though. But they were in the same, I guess, time frame as the male rappers, and so it wasn't so in your face and just vulgar. I guess vulgar is the word I'm looking for.
Completely vulgar. That's like, I don't know. People usually make fun of me because I throw out that one when I guess it's not. I guess people think I'm using it when it's not necessary, but this is an instance where I would say is vulgar. But I think more people would agree with me, or us, since you think so as well.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if you're comparing like to Missy Elliott to somebody like a Gorilla, Missy Elliott alluded to a lot of things, but never have we had until like today's era, like with Part City Girls and all these new, I guess, what's her name, Ice Spice, all these new chicks. My pee this, my pee that, lick this, lick that, eat this, eat that.
Let's not forget about WAP. I
Right.
thought that
My
was the
stuff's
pinnacle. I
wet.
thought that was the
This
best
and that, this and that.
thing.
I'm gonna take your man. Blah 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 blah. Like, yeah,
By doing X, Y, Z and all this
yeah,
stuff.
I can pop it on a real one. I can do this and that. And I'm just like, it's really.
I'm trying to
It's
figure
a
out
lot.
Glorilla's thing though, because she seemed like she was coming as this like bad A chick who's like, I'm in charge, and then so I don't know, I didn't know what to expect when I saw her on stage. I didn't know she was that popular to begin with, but then she came out in this like red lingerie thing, and was like gyrating on the stage and then turning around, twerking, and I'm like, are you sure you want people to listen to your music? I don't think you do. You care about that.
But this is why I asked the question. Girls must like ass. They
You love
must.
that. And I
They
wrongly
must.
based that on myself, and I'm not the average girl. So
But that's what it must, because all these women,
They're doing it
I
for
imagine.
men.
No, they're not. It can't be, because your main audience are other women, right?
Yeah.
Your lyrics are the perspective of a woman dominating the people around her, how much of a baddie she is,
there we go.
and
Daddy.
and how sexual she is, and how wet her stuff is, even though it kind of sounds like she has an infection, but that's a whole different thing. And so it's a perspective of how bad this chick is, right? So men are not involved in that. You're not talking to dudes.
No.
And so, but at the same time, as you're rapping your song, you're also twerking and shaking this and gyrating. And it's like, who's the audience for this? I get mixed signals. I was like, you're talking to women, but you're displaying yourself in almost like you're presenting yourself to men. But then what we had to do is we had to go back to the city of Atlanta right? We had to do research. We had to figure out, since our popular music is being influenced by the strip club, because every female rapper these days is a stripper. Somehow, I don't.
Was, or is trying to
Is
be.
was is trying to
Or
be.
to seem like one, yeah.
We had to dive into the Atlanta scene and like, all right, give me a crash course on what it's like to be in Atlanta. And somebody said that, you know, the movie stars of Atlanta are the strippers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So they're like, all right, cool.
We don't have movie stars.
We have strippers. All right, bet. That works. Even though she's not from Atlanta. But so we were trying to get this idea, like, well, why is this happening? And then we found out there actually is a pretty decent population of women who go to strip clubs and toss money.
Yes.
Right? They want to see, but there was this chick on YouTube that was complaining that there was a bunch of girls from New York
Oh, yeah.
who were infiltrating Atlanta strip clubs,
Yeah.
and they didn't know how to work it.
She was like, they're not doing it, and they expected me to give them $20.
And it's like,
No.
you ain't working nothing, you ain't nothing. Like, and she was mad. She was livid.
She was really livid. She was like, I pulled out so many ones, you know, or took out money from the ATM and changed into ones for nothing. Because these women, and they're out here trying to get something for nothing. I'm like,
And she wanted to see,
what did you want them to do?
She wanted to see bare butt. And we didn't know that Magic City is bare butt, full moons.
Yeah, even though, you know, strip club and strip tease or all those type of things, it's like removing clothing. I've never heard of a place actually removing your undergarments as well. And I guess
The full business.
that's what they're doing in Atlanta.
The absolute full business. So these female rappers are taking elements from these clubs, and somehow now every girl in America wants to be a stripper. And it's weird. I mean, I don't know. Do y'all think it's weird? I think it's weird.
I mean, they've graduated from being Beyonce's beehive to that.
But Beyonce never was trying to be a stripper, though.
She was never trying to be a stripper, but when she was shaking it and taking off her clothes and stuff, or not taking off her clothes, excuse me, dancing scantily clad, women try to do the same thing.
I think, but they've taken it to a different level.
Oh,
now.
it's a whole different level now. It's escalated or elevated to. Yeah, she actually sang, or is still singing because she's on tour right now.
Yeah.
Although her lyrics have degraded
They have.
dramatically. She might as well be one of these people out here because she's saying some crazy stuff. Actually, one of the people on one of the videos we saw referenced what she was saying, and they were like, I'll think of it and I'll bring it up. But it was something about what Beyonce said to do. And I was like, what? And she was a stripper.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a very interesting. It's a very interesting thing, and I don't know how we got here. I mean, I know I listened to Future, right? And Future said that, you know, back in the day, maybe even still today, if you were a rapper in Atlanta, you wanted to get your stuff big, you needed to have it jumping in the strip clubs because that was the underground, right? That's when you know your stuff was hot, is if the DJs were playing it in strip clubs. And, you know, if it got strippers twerking and people throwing money, then you knew you had a banger. And I guess now that's the case today, where we're just continuing that trend. But now we have like people who are not a part of that culture at all are like simulating into that culture. You have random chicks. Remember that time that we went to the park and we were getting some.
You say that like we went once. No, I know what you're talking about though.
But like we were getting some like ice stuff. It was like an ice cone or whatever the case at one of those food trucks.
Yeah.
And there was a group of girls. It was like maybe two Hispanic chicks and a black chick, right? And the black chick, no music was being played, by the way. Like it was just park background, you know, just birds and stuff, just no music. And then all of a sudden, she just starts bending down and twerking and stuff. And I'm like, this is weird.
Hoping to grab your attention.
She wasn't trying to grab my attention.
There weren't any other men around. Or the one serving the icicle.
She was trying to get a free drink.
And then her friends kind of joined her for a second, but then they were too shy or something.
But I was like, what is this?
It's twerking on call. On demand.
Twerking on demand.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll refine it later. But some people have been doing this. I've been seeing this more often without. You're right, without any music. Maybe they're just hearing the music in their head.
Is that it?
They're feeling good, and they're just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this right here."
Do you feel empowered when you twerk?
What? I don't twerk. That's a good one.
So no empowerment.
But no, I don't think I would be empowered by twerking. I'm empowered now. I'm fine.
Okay.
Whenever they're saying empowered or the feminist,
Well,
liberated,
there's clearly an allure, right? Like there's something about twerking that gets people like riled up. So,
I guess so. Well, but then women would probably be like, "Oh, she doesn't have a," like, what do you say?
So that is a prerequisite
she
now.
doesn't have ass. Like,
You know what's interesting
but
about
that's
that?
just because I don't show it, and then because even when people show it, then they kind of let you in, even if you're, I guess, not on the sizable chart, whatever this chart is.
But now it's gotten to the point where like it's become cartoonish. Like,
Oh yeah.
everyone has. I mean, I don't know if like they think that guys like cartoon butt, but
That's what they say, and they say it's also men who are or guys are the ones who are asking for this, and they're not.
no one
Actually,
has.
guys,
No
I've
one
heard
has.
so many guys saying they don't want it. They're asking where it came from. They're actually asking people to stop doing it because it's the health risks.
Yes.
And women just continue making excuses. I need this butt. I need to get it. I'm gonna get it. These men want to see butt.
That guy in the documentary, he was just like he was trying to tell a girl, "Hey, your butt's fine. Like it's sizey. Like it's already good." And she's like, "No, I need to go bigger." And then she went and got bigger. You know what I think it is though?
Psychological issues.
Maybe, but I think people are confusing. Like, I wouldn't call a cartoon butt tantalizing. Shout outs to the Nigerians. Tantalizing. I don't think it's tantalizing. I think it's like one of those. It's like a train crash, like, or a car wreck.
Okay.
Right, like you can't not look.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it gets attention.
That's
what those women are like.
But
Ooh,
you
they're
don't.
giving me attention.
But you don't like car crashes.
You don't, and you asked a very critical question in the prep for this show, as like something to the effect of, how many of those women do I see with a ring on their finger, on like the marriage ring,
Absolutely
the
not.
finger?
That's a hard pass.
No,
I don't think any of those chicks.
I don't think women are looking that closely. I think they're just saying, "Oh, there's swarms of men around them or guys around them," or they have all these
money.
Or they have all these comments in their on their social media accounts. And
are they real people? These comments.
Yeah, but that's a good point.
And also, are any of these comments coming from people that you would actually entertain in person? Like,
yeah, girl, you're hot. You look amazing. Fire,
oh my god.
Fire. No, but you made a critical point there about is it real? Because I was actually joking about is the butt real, but no, on the bigger scale, even of this conversation, a lot of the realness are not real.
So yes, that was a great.
I didn't want to forget to touch on that.
That was a great point, and that is most of these rappers are not living their raps. Like a great example, and I completely forgot the name of this artist, but we saw her video earlier today. I think Playback was talking about her. She's a rapper. She went on to someone else's show a while ago, and she was talking about how she likes to sit on people's faces, and you're gonna eat this and all this other stuff. And she likes to defecate on people and smear it in and all this other things.
Foul.
This crazy stuff, right? This clickbaity. I'm just trying to get attention.
I remember the name now.
Just anything she could do to get attention, right? And so some guy was like, "Bet, right? We're about to challenge that." So then she goes onto another show, and that guy's like, "Yeah, I'm about to do this to you. I'm about to do that to you. I'm about to flip you over and do all these different things." And she's getting all like bashful and closing her mouth. She's like, gosh. "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that to me." And then like all this stuff. And so it's like at that moment, you're like, "Oh, she's not actually about it.
Mm-hmm. She's uncomfortable.
This was all talk." And that kind of...
It's like, why would you talk yourself up with that? That's garbage.
It got attention.
A
lot of people...
Sukihana.
Yep, that's it.
Just because that was like one of the first times I put the name to a face to a name, whatever, because I've heard her name through social media, and people have, just like with attention, and I don't know, and I've heard, "Oh, Sukihana." So I was expecting some like amazing, gorgeous, I don't know, model.
Tantalizing.
Tantalizing. Shout out.
Yeah, but that gave us this idea that, oh, maybe, this is a bigger issue. In fact, a lot of these chicks are actually maybe shy chicks or just like regular people.
Some of them have warned
But
us of that.
they put on this facade of like, this hypersexual badass.
I mean, now that you say that, and I wasn't even planning to talk about this girl. This is the second time. Beyonce.
Let's go.
But that's one thing.
The hatred is real. I imagine the Beehive is going to go nuts.
Yeah, I hope they come after me. She get a life. No, away from her, far away from her. She's gonna drag you to Hades. So
Okay.
No, Beyonce always in the beginning did mention something about that wasn't her. She's shy, and that's actually Sasha Fierce.
That's actually Sasha Fierce. Sasha Fierce was saying all those things. Beyonce is a sweet church girl who goes to church on Sundays. And even though I made a song called Church Girl, Let Your Hair Down, and do all these other nasty things when you're not at church, twerk for Jesus.
Let's talk about it.
Hold on, sorry. Don't make that into a hashtag, people. Please don't. Please don't.
We already did that on one of our videos. Go ahead and check back on our old videos.
Leave in the comment section, twerk for Jesus.
No, absolutely not. But you can check out our old video about how to hype up a church or something like that.
That's wild.
I should know the titles. But anyways, some of them may not be lying, some may be stretching the truth. But how much of this is real anyway? Even mentioning the Atlanta scene, these people are fake.
Oh yeah, when that was a great documentary. I wish I remembered the name of it, but
I don't either.
It was just talking about the people that were going there. If you don't have money, you need to look like you have money. Go get spend all your life savings on a nice chain, on a nice pinky ring. Maybe bust down a watch. Even though, just full disclosure, I think busting down a watch is probably one of the dumbest things you can do. One of the stupidest things, sorry, not to get on a rant, but one of the stupidest things I've ever seen is somebody busting down a Patek Philippe. I mean, it's like, it's a Patek Philippe. It's already a classic. And then you mess it up by putting a bunch of diamonds on it. Plain Jane's, y'all. Plain Jane's. But anyway.
Watch connoisseur right over you.
I can't. It's a work of art and you just trashed it. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
That's okay, but it's still a good life tip for the grown men out there.
But yeah, they put on all this fake stuff, right? They spend their life savings on that. Maybe they got themselves $2,000 in ones, and then for one night, maybe just for an hour, you feel like the dude, right? You feel like the guy. People are looking at you, right? Because it's not really even about the strippers. It's about you being able to throw wealth away as if you don't care about it, just to show people how much wealth you have. So you want the other people to see you throwing money, right? Because I'm that dude. I'm throwing cash, right? As my favorite line from Ray Shrimmer, I'm about to empty out the ATM, right?
That's a good song, though. It's a good song.
So yes, that's
empty out the ATM.
Exactly, girl. You got me fascinated.
Nice. Fair use.
So that's what it is. So it's really the guys who are actually flexing on the other guys. It's not even about the chicks. Now some of those dudes that we saw were zoned in on butt. Like they looked like they were in a trance.
Yeah.
Like it's like I've never seen the inside of a person's birth canal before kind of look. And so that's kind of what that looked like. And I was like, wow, somebody needs to pull him. He looks like he's about to get sucked in.
Yeah.
So that was probably a guy that was over his head. Maybe he was new. He was, green.
Green as he was, yeah.
Right? And he didn't know what game was like. He walked into this environment and just, got the pixie dust, tossed it all over him. He didn't know what to do about it.
Yep.
He's the type of dude, at least he looks like the type of dude, who would completely go broke in this place. Spend all his waking money.
He's in a trance.
Trying to get Diamond to pay attention to him. And Diamond is just doing this for money. She doesn't actually like you. And that's one of the things that, some guys who are new to strip clubs don't understand is that the girls don't like you. They're putting on a show. Like it's fantasy. It's a whole fake world where like my whole job is to make you feel good so that you give me money.
Yeah, and make you believe whatever you think is going to happen in here. even though I'm not doing anything.
I'm not doing anything with you. I'm going to tease the hell out of you, though. I'm going to show butt and shove it all over you and rub it all over you. And I'm going to, get you really excited. And then as soon as 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock or wherever o'clock rolls around, I'm going in my car and I'm going home. Mm-hmm. So for the guys, it's really, to me, it looks like a complete waste of time. The only thing that I would see that makes sense is what Future said, right? Future wasn't actually not about the life, actually. And he was just using this as a business opportunity.
Surprise. This guy actually has some brains.
He does. And
brain
so,
cells in there in between his little noggin.
He realized, like, this is where all the movers and shakers meet up. And so if I want my music to get connected to the right people, if I need to make certain connections business-wise, I need to show up at Magic City. I need to do this XYZ, right? Mm-hmm. But the strippers, I'm not really here for them. I'm not really here for any of this other nonsense. I'm really just here for the networking. And so for those who have that kind of mindset, maybe they get a head out of this. But for the other ones who are actually wrapped up in the fantasy, I remember Drake was talking about, having business meetings at strip clubs. There's a lot of hard working going on, but who can focus with all this twerking going on? That was shout out to Drake on that one. He's had a lot of issues with strip clubs. What's your real name? Not your stripper name.
Can we say hot sauce?
Oh, Drake. I just can't.
Diamond. Diamond's my real.
For you, my name's Ashley.
Right. Cindy?
Or Chanel. How about that?
He's like,
any
I don't
name
feel
will
like you're
do.
still lying to me.
Look, my name is whatever
Star?
you want it to be.
Candy.
How about Candy? Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Cinnamon.
In the 2 descriptions of the guys you gave, right?
Yes.
That you made of the guys, you said the one who's the green guy, right? He's the one who's all, for all intents and purposes, he was immersed.
He's like, wow, there's a lot going on
it's
here.
It's like, yeah, he really was just
He couldn't handle it. He was absorbed.
And then
it soaked him up.
Yeah, then you have the guy who said he's just doing for his ego and showing off to the other men. Maybe a little bit of the networking he'd been doing. This is part of the like repertoire of like, okay, we talked, we networked, but now I want to show you I'm actually about it. Like I'm
actually a successful artist.
Yeah, like I have this money.
I have this money, and I'm not afraid to spend it.
And then there was a guy that I could not forget from the documentary, and you remember he was like, oh my gosh, okay, excuse me. He was not fully enamored with the women, but with the idea of giving the money. So he's kind of like the first guy, but he was a little bit.
Oh, he was so excited.
He was just excited the fact, and he said something to the effect of like, I just like that. I just threw all this money on your ass, and you liked it, and she liked it, and I was like, what? And then he kept repeating the same thing over.
Because for him, it's the power.
I just threw money on you. I just threw money on you, and she loved it. She smiled at me.
That's
and
hilarious.
I just threw more money away.
Because it was a power for him. It was a power.
It is, okay, it's a power. I was like, what's wrong with you?
He was talking about how, like, how he feels, like, when he's like, this money doesn't even mean anything to me. And I have the ability to just throw it on you, and you work even harder. Like, you twerk even harder, you shake even harder, and it's like, I have this power to just, like, almost control this chick and make her do what I want to do using this money. So it was like, yeah. So, I mean, that's the interesting thing about it, right? Like, people who, like the girls on the girl side of things, mm-hmm. when they look at the strippers, they're seeing a person who is commanding all of this attention.
Yeah, and power in their own.
But it's not really that case. Really, it's the guys saying, look, I want you to do this.
Dance.
Boom, right?
Do what I want, yeah.
So it's like they're not commanding really. Maybe
they're not controlling nothing.
You may be commanding the simp dude, the green guy.
This is true.
So he might be enamored, and you probably are tossing him around. The guy
that's going to be doing, what's it called? Not BDSM, the dominatrix thing anyways, where he's going to be giving his money to some girl in the real world. So it's like, yeah, you can control that guy. Give me your wallet. Open it up. How much did you bring in here? But like, go to the ATM.
Facts. But for the future type dude, he's like, or that guy that you were just talking about, he's like, nah, I look, this is... He almost feels like
your skirt is still on.
Right. He almost feels like you owe him. Like, it's like, look, for the next hour, I own you, and you better do what I want you to do.
I think something's wrong with his ego.
It's nuts. But the girls look at this chick as like some power boss chick because she is walking around wearing expensive jewelry and she has the money and she has all this attention. She's usually popping on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so they look at her and they're like, ooh, I like money. I like attention. Why not? I like to dance.
And remember,
why don't I do
we
the
learned
stripper thing?
Like, I mean, we already kind of know you, thanks to your wide vocabulary. You already know what they're talking about in different instances. But that was a new one for me of the women calling that trap for them.
That was a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know
it's their trap.
of other stuff, but
It used to be called tricking.
okay.
Right, like you were tricking on, like, you know, like guys would say I'm tricking on these hoes, and hoes would be I'm tricking on these Johns, right? But now it's now they're talking about I'm in the trap. They're equating it to like how the dudes would talk about selling drugs, right? They're selling ass,
Yeah.
and so this is this weird dynamic where they're very territorial of their Johns, and they're like, if such and such comes in here and then some other chick tries to shake butt in his face, I'm punching her throat because that's my John. Like that's my money, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that throws 10,000. Yeah, nobody else is dancing for him but me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
There's so much involved with that, and it crosses over to, I guess, the actual Johns with the prostitution. And then the other way on.
It is like that.
Onto fan only, and
OnlyFans. And stuff.
Well, I don't know if it was
I think you say OnlyFans.
Oh, okay. But yeah, and then interestingly enough, or I guess not. I don't know. One of the kids, the woman said something about when she was a kid. That's her mom. Her mom did, but that's not what made her want to be a stripper. But she did see that her mom had nice things. And she was wearing Timberlands and all this stuff.
She wanted nice things. So,
So
this is how you get nice things.
Example.
You shake butt.
So I'm like, oh, well, people sometimes say, oh, in the hood, they don't have examples. No, they do. They just don't have the examples that we should probably be giving to them. And, I mean, some of the strippers said for themselves, like, I can't go from this to making even $20 an hour. I was like, way to shit on the rest of the country.
But it makes sense, though. That's the same thing that the OnlyFans people say, right? When you make money at such a fast rate, to go down to a hourly job is almost unthinkable.
It's just sad that they don't save any of it. But go ahead.
True. Well, maybe.
Some of them.
Maybe some of them save, but the problem is they don't have any other skills. So it's like not like you can transition to something else. Like for instance, right? Great example. These drug dealers. Right, they're good at math.
Man, you could say, let's roll back the tape, say it again. So, I would have fought you on this years ago, but after studying some of them, I'm like, okay.
Right.
They're actually good at math.
They're good at math.
They might not even really know how to, like, do language very properly or speak or anything, but they know some math. Right. They know some business math.
They know math. They know a little bit on business organization.
And a little bit. Right, these people organize around folks in circles. Like, they don't need business school.
But here's the thing, though. Like, for instance, like somebody like a Jay-Z, you can transition him from the streets to something like the business industry, the music industry, and he can move around. His learning curve is going to be shorter. Right, he might not know the intricacies of that specific industry, but he knows the fundamentals, and so he can just like translate some of his drug dealing stuff, which is what Birdman did when he made Cash Money Records.
Yes, that's where I was waiting.
Right, when he made Cash Money Records, he already knew how to hustle. He already knew some of those things. So all he had to do was just change the product to an album, and then use some of those principles.
That's the thing about business, though. Once you learn the base principles, it is really drag and drop or, plug and chug, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Just find a new product and give it to people and use the organization.
Now,
so,
Little Baby also that way.
And right? They use what's accessible to them, which how are they getting all these drugs? I don't know. But
that's a good question. I mean, Little Baby is also like that. But switching over to your stripper, I guess what the stripper knows is they know... I imagine a stripper is very good at human psychology.
Ooh.
Right? A stripper probably knows how to read people very well. right? Like they know the type of person that is going to throw money, the type of person who's not going to throw money. Like they could probably sniff you out for about 5 seconds or so and know like, oh, this guy's not really about it versus, oh, I could probably work this dude, right? They could probably figure that out. They probably are really good at conversation. I used to live next to some strippers back in my early 20s. And
they were your neighbors, your lovely
they were my neighbors. I was not in a very good neighborhood. But it was what I could afford, so that's where I went.
Living in your 20s.
I had my own spot, so I was just happy that I had that.
Hey, gotta start somewhere.
But yeah, I would talk to them because, like, you know, at first they were confused, and it's like, I never see you at the club. It's like, oh, that's not really my scene. I don't really do that, but
because you would.
Because I was broke, so it's like, of course it's not my scene.
Yeah, but okay, you want to say broke. I want to say because as soon as you got even near the door, you'd be like, oh, what's happening? That's why I was the ugliest face I could make right then.
Yes, I did have a phobia for herpes. So
for everything. The dirt on the door
oh,
thing.
God, don't touch me.
The sweat. She's coming close to me.
Yes, that is. I am.
Yeah, but that's good protection for
I'm
yourself.
a little bit of a germaphobe. That is true.
Yeah.
So clearly just those types of things would just bar me from wanting anything to do with a stripper physically.
Oh yeah, and then I can't imagine. Well, actually, I don't know if they charge a cover to go in there, but I know you don't like that with the regular places.
Some do, some don't.
So
it is what it is. But they were cool. They were cool people to talk to because, you know, some of them had really good conversation, and for me, it was an opportunity to ask them questions about just like their lifestyle because I always found them fascinating. Like, who sets up to do this, right? And who are the type of dudes that are into you? Because I'm not. But
into you for the show, or into you in life to be your partner.
Well, just like who's the type? Because I never walked in there. I was like, who are the guys that walk in here? And some of them would say like, you know, there'd be lawyers, doctors, there'd be, you know, cable guys, there would be, you know, all sorts of dudes, right? And they would learn something from all these different guys, and some of them had marital problems, and some of them were loners, and some of them had, you know, just all these different things, right? So they were almost kind of playing counselor in some aspects. They were playing, you know, psychologist in other aspects. Some of them, they were just, you know, you're here to just be escapism because my life sucks, and so, you know, go ahead and twerk something for me. And so, but it was interesting to have like to listen to their perspective because to me it was an interesting world.
You do like to interview people, so why not them?
Yeah, because you know they're fascinating to me. They just how their whole life was just interesting. And then there's obviously that some of them had a kind of a dark side of you could tell that they were not happy with the setup that they have, but they couldn't really do much about it because they liked the money or they needed the money, or because, you know, some of them were either supporting some sisters or a mama or maybe supporting kids. And so, you know, a lot of these folks, you do have your stories of people who went to college and they did the stripping thing to help pay for college. And you had the other folks who barely graduated high school. And, you know, this was a fast way to make some money. So it was diverse, right? Everybody didn't have the same starting point. But most of them, if not all the people that were in my neighborhood that I spoke to, were trying to figure out a way to eventually get out.
Yeah. Well, you did mention earlier a lot of them didn't have the other skills. Because you weren't working on anything else. Yeah.
But what's interesting though, and one of the things that I suggested to one of the girls, and I don't know if she ever followed this advice or not, but I was like, you know, you seem to know a lot about people. You would be a really good salesman.
Oh yeah. So actually, I take it back. They do have some of the skills, but the barrier of entry for like a counselor, a psychologist, all those things would be a little bit higher than what they've actually got, even though they have the life experience. So sales actually would be a good usage of that.
Yeah, because you already are good at talking to people, right? You already are not shy when it comes to, you know, making interactions. You can make conversation.
Probably good at persuasion.
You're good at reading people. You're good at persuasion. And, you know, if I gave you a product, you could probably go out there and sell the crap out of it. I mean, a great example of this in the real world sense is Stormy. Stormy is an ex stripper who I don't know how people thought that her seminar or conference or whatever the thing that she had was going to actually teach them anything. But she somehow sold a bunch of tickets. She's the one that was talking about this is a Queen's plate and
Stormy Wellington.
this is
Wellington. I don't know her last name.
Yeah.
I was thinking Stormy Daniels at first, but Stormy.
No,
Wellington.
not Stormy. The other Stormy. There's a lot of Stormies out there, but
Man.
And then on top of that, she somehow convinced what's his face, Grant Cardone, to be a part of 10X.
I was kind of.
I'm like, where's she? Must be a hell of a salesman. She's out here getting it. Like she just. And I was like, because she's a stripper, she probably.
I watched her business segment, and I have to give her props.
She knows it. Yeah, she's a seasoned vet when it comes to working Johns, and she used that to her advantage and translated it into a different arena.
Now I was unhappy that she was the black representative for women, or actually just for black people. They might have had one other black.
Yeah,
male.
we could do better than that. But
she did know what she's talking about with the business, so
yes,
I had to. Yeah.
She does. And
to tell you how crazy this lineup is, it was her and then the TD Jakes. Remember for the other?
Oh God.
Yeah. Which Anyways. But you're right.
I think that would actually be a very good pairing. Have the ex drug dealer who's transitioned into business hire the ex stripper.
Oh,
right.
Work together,
right? Sell product, and then maybe we can transition this underground culture that seems to be becoming mainstream into something that's a little bit more fruitful and not so degrading.
Please.
I mean, that's kind of nothing against those folks. Again, I don't throw any shade on nobody, but the people that, at least the ones that I lived next to back in those days, they weren't happy. Like, they were happy that they had money and they liked shiny, right? They did like shiny. And they spent a lot of their money on shiny, and hair and nails and makeup and all sorts of things, right? And the allure of getting more shiny is, keeps them in there.
Yeah. But they also keep themselves sedated. I mean, I say sedated, but just drunk, drugs, all those things. For a lot of them, I think the documentary, those ones seemed like they were actually, they didn't seem high or drunk or anything on something. They just were in love with money. They were high on money,
but
on cash.
But I think too, Magic City is like a premier spot, so you can make tens of thousands in a night versus, in a place like Shreveport or, St. Louis or like Jackson City, like some other like smaller place where like it's a one-horse town. Not to say that the cities I named were one-horse towns, but something small, not an Atlanta, not a Las Vegas, not a Houston, right?
But
something smaller than that, where you might have 5 or so people walking up in there, and they're only gonna give you like $40.
Yeah, and they said this one. Was it celebrities frequent the Atlanta one?
Yeah,
and
basketball players, football players, so they're throwing 10,000, 50,000 at a night.
Yeah, so for them saying, oh, we don't have celebrities, I guess you have outside celebrities coming in, and then those women become celebrities or they're online in whatever capacity, and they're known.
Yeah. But like the one-legged stripper that was in Nacogdoches, I don't think that she was a happy camper. I mean, I can't imagine,
No. Yeah, they're definitely making way more. Oh, and, I guess I'd have to do more research, but it seems like they're one of few, or they're the only one showing bare bottom. I kept hearing for the longest time, oh, people haven't been to, Atlanta has a great thing, because I used to live in, like, 2 hours away from there. And I was like, why are people so fascinated with the strip club? Like, I wasn't even talking to people who a strip club would come up in conversation for anything, and they knew about this thing. But now I'm like, oh, they're naked. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, actually naked, not with a bra and,
Which, I don't know if that would excite me. Probably not. Yeah, probably wouldn't.
Yeah, you have a different value system, though.
It's probably just like, oh, God, please don't. No. Satan's a lie.
Satan is a lie. And for all of you who, they may not be listening to the show, but if you know someone, this is my little PSA that we didn't plan. Right. Yes, I know. If you know someone who's in that trap, please
call Logic.
Call Logic. No, don't call me. Okay, fine. Now I can't say that, but if you need help, reach out. But we laid out a plan, or Reason actually laid out a plan that was pretty reasonable about how to translate the skills that you do have, because everybody's learned something. It just depends how you use it. And so if you don't want to be a part of the life, you can quit today and go on a different train. That's not a judgment call. That is a helping hand. All right.
Okay.
Back to the show.
Brought to you by Logic.
Brought to you by Logic. I'll send you my invoice later. See, at least it's not a commercial for something. Y'all want to see
if
some
anything,
ads?
I should be charging you. What? You just send an invoice. Like, you got this messed up. It's the other way around.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? So, but yes, we went on a really long tangent, but I think
I would say tangent, but then no, the stripper thing is because we're wondering where is this coming from the BT. I mean, I wanted to go in at first and be like, yeah, BT, who are they making this for? But after seeing that they did mix in some older artists who have relevant songs today, the crowd was pleased. Mm-hmm. They try to mix in the old and the new, so they're trying. But I still don't know that it's BET is not helping Black people, but
yes, and
it is an entertainment source. It depends what your form of entertainment is, and I see that it has a heavy influence, if not all of it, from that stripper culture.
And I'm very fearful for the future because if the old geezers now are like Busta Rhymes and people like that, you know, fast forwarding in the future, Ice Spice is going to be the old geezer of tomorrow.
And she probably still want to twerk.
And is she going to be twerking at like 50? Like, I don't want to see this. People in the comment section, please tell me, do you want to see 50-year-old Ice Spice, 50-year-old Gorilla, 50-year-old plug-in name
no, but there's
twerking
there's
50-year-old
models still showing, I mean, not
yes,
still,
and
now re-showing their bodies and stuff because they now have a new Instagram.
And I know somebody in the comment section is probably going to say, oh, Erykah Badu was showing something
with her daughter. And
I'm like, that's not it either. Now, yes, was I excited when Window Seat came out? I was. But also, I think that Erykah Badu is a witch who possesses folks and bewitches people. And so I would be very careful about spending too much time with Miss Badu. Somebody better call Tyrone. That's all I'm saying. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. I don't want to find out.
Okay.
If she said, hey, you know, come see me in Dallas, I'd be like, that's a hard pass for me.
Absolutely not. I'm just kidding.
What was that?
I mean, it's your choice. Whatever you want to do.
He said, absolutely. Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah. Because you said it for, you know, whatever. I don't even want to say it because I can't. That stuff creeps me out. That was supposed to be like magic or witchcraft or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So I don't know what that was. He was like,
I don't know. Hocus pocus. Ah!
I don't know what that was.
It's Crazy Girl. That's what it was.
Yeah, she kind of scares me. But yes, I don't think watching a bunch of 50-year-olds kind of, you know, going in is something that I would be interested in. And so
the thing is, they can still have fun. It's just they whoever they is, the society has. Well, I don't know if they've redefined fun. They've tried to say that fun is liberation, is insert word, you know, freedom, and all of that is to say just be naked. Be naked, and then yeah.
It is liberate. It's liberation when you take off clothes, right, and show bare bottom, and shake bare bottom in front of strangers for money. That's liberation.
Yeah, then you do crazy things or you say crazy things,
Woo!
which you think is in a controlled environment, and you end up like Sukihana getting uncomfortable because some random guy remembers you saying that and thinks it's real life. And he's like, cool, I can just make out with her. I can violate her.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Okay,
no, that was her.
Okay.
That was her. It was a different interview. Some dude, random guy. Maybe they know each other. I have no idea. And of course, an internet video always just shows us in the middle of the action. We don't get any context of like what's actually happening. But yeah, he shoved his tongue down her throat, and I was like, oh shoot. And little Duval is just sitting there. It's like, oh, what's happening? Like nobody came to her aid at all. Like everybody's like, wow, this is crazy. Somebody should probably do something. But I'm not, because you probably like that.
They're assuming you do.
That's sad.
Because you're an object.
Damn.
You made yourself an object.
She said you made your choice.
You made your choice.
It's unfortunate.
But you can always choose a different route.
Can you?
Okay.
Did anybody see Kid and Play? Because I must have missed that.
Maybe they didn't play it on the... They didn't put it up afterwards. Because, they posted some on their YouTube channel.
Why does...
BET being they.
Why does Play look like a white man? I don't remember him... Maybe
he's just pale. I think maybe it's the way they did the photo.
Maybe he's always looked like that, and
he had both. Probably because they don't have his fro, his square box fro.
What happened to it? Because now it looks like his hair is like jerry curled.
That's probably what it was when they put gel or water, but
to make it. Because it used to be like high and just.
Yeah, because it was probably longer. You just comb it up the fro.
That's interesting.
Shout out and let us know if you want me to wear a big fro.
Yeah.
It's already out.
That's funny. Oh, yeah, we do need to talk about Mr. Little Uzi Vert.
Oh gosh, shenanigans.
So this is one of those instances where, like, some songs sound really good in your headphones, and some songs sound really good, like maybe at a club, but then when you hear them live on a stage, they don't sound that great. And I think I Just Want to Rock is one of those songs. I already knew that the song doesn't have much lyrics. Like that's the structure of the song. And I'm cool with that, because when you're at a club, when you're at, a dance hall or whatever the case may be, everybody's just going in, right? And so you're like, oh, I just want to right, and you're cool, right? But then watching him, because he doesn't dance, he just kind of, he does whatever,
he jumps. He's like,
I guess he's like a little garden gnome running around all over the place.
I was trying not to attack the.
He's really tiny.
Yeah.
And so he's
with his outfit being way too big.
There's like 3 words in the song.
He tripped on his jeans.
He did trip on his jeans. And then he had a little dance circle going on, but he didn't really do much.
He can't dance. Oh, well, let me not say he can't dance. He chose not to dance on a stage, on a performance stage. And he was
maybe he's good like at a live concert.
I mean, all I saw of pics of him live was to go. What was he doing? Flipping into the stage, into the.
Oh, he did a crowd surf. He did a crowd surf.
Just crowd surfing.
But I just don't know if this song really hits really hard like on an award show, because I was just like, this kind of sounds dumb outside of like a party scene. Because it just doesn't sound.
I remember if the crowd was entertained on that.
Maybe
they weren't really with it, like with Migos.
Yeah. So, and also, I was disappointed that he didn't come up on stage when the Migos did Bad and Bougie.
Yeah, during their tribute.
Because he actually had a really good verse on that track.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't scroll by too fast. I was just about to give a shout out to my Cameroonian. We got Libianca. Who I did not previously know, on the far left.
Oh, yes.
Libianca. I would say, unfortunately, but that actually might be part of her style, so I'm not even going to knock on the blonde hair, although now me bringing it up might be. But we got a Cameroonian on the BET stage board. It's not my most prized music show.
Okay.
However, I'm happy to have a Cameroonian on board.
Yeah, she's a Cameroonian American.
She did a pregame show.
She was born in Minneapolis.
I'll take it, I guess. Really?
Mm-hmm.
So she's actually Cameroonian American. Let's go.
Yep.
Singing Cameroonian music.
Yes.
Well, it seemed like. Okay. I don't understand what well, that's probably the American side of her. He can't show you that kind of photo, but just some vulgar photos are the first things that come up on Google. So just.
Can I be really honest about something? I mean, I'm always honest about things, but.
You are. But I know you're trying to preserve my feelings. And people probably, what's Cameroon? And don't say we know Nigerians.
Oh
check
no,
it
no,
out.
that wasn't
Google.
that wasn't actually it.
No, not you. The audience. Sorry. Audience.
Well, they can go. They have Google. They can look that up.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of black women and blonde hair. I there's nothing about it.
There's a way to do it, but she has bleach blonde hair, so that's
I
she
don't.
has the Barbie bleach blonde.
I
Blonde. Even for a performance or performer.
I didn't like it from that one when we were at that Afro festival
Oh,
a couple years
that girl
ago,
thought she was hot.
and she had this almost white bleach
Yes,
blonde
there
hair.
we go. Yeah, so it is. I forgot that's a different one. You're right.
And I was like, you don't look good.
Because it's not actually even the blonde anymore. It's like white blonde, almost to a hint of gray, but like bleach.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
That color
I don't
doesn't
like
look very
it.
good on
I don't like it.
on a lot of people of any race of Caucasians, except for the ones where it just
What
comes right
is
out of
this
their
nonsense? What is
So,
this?
head. Even if you did like an ombre roots.
She has like
darker.
this white afro,
Hey,
which I guess
I need attention, man. No, I think she actually just likes it.
This is terrible. What is that? What is this?
Look,
Hold on. Let me
listen,
show.
we're not going to do that to.
Can y'all see
our
that on the
Cameroonian.
right? What is this? This is what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't look
It's not
good.
representative. You know what that is? That's living in America.
Is that what you're gonna say, that this is America's fault?
Yes.
Why is it that I see African women who are not American by culture
Hey,
doing the same thing?
tantalizing.
It's not tantalizing.
I beg, shut up. Next slide. Rubbish.
Oh, I don't like it.
Please, I beg.
I don't like it.
Anyways, other artists. I just had to give an honorable mention. I spent way too much time on her because
I-
I'm gonna wait
look,
and
I
hear
think
some of the
she-
music because I can't actually critique the music yet.
The
But-
song that she sang, at least the one I heard, was all right.
Yeah.
I'm fine. You know, look, I don't have any issue with this girl. I want her to figure out her hair, and you know, I like the natural styles. The one that she has, it looks like the braids. That's fine. That'll work for me. But this,
That one
what-
is actually better because the roots, I think, are black.
the roots
But-
are black, and it looks like it's the style is better, I guess. I don't know. Maybe she's just experimenting and she's trying to see what sticks, and then she'll kind of settle with something that actually makes sense. But for right now, it's not really hitting for me. But that's okay. Shout outs to the fact that we have a Cameroonian on the board. So I'll take that's now
Take that, Nigerians.
no, you don't want to do that because
Their Afro beats. Did they perform?
they did. Davido. Yeah, facts.
I do like David though.
Uh-huh.
He's back.
Yeah. So Cameroon has a long way to catch up if you're talking about trying to compare them to
We are running
Nigerians.
our own race.
Right.
Thank you very
You got
much.
Mr. Easy to deal with. Right. You got Davido. Right. You got some heavy hitters that Rima. You got to deal with Rima.
Listen, some people
Tim's.
had a
You got to
head
deal with
start
Tim's.
because they were willing to engage in other business endeavors
What?
hundreds
No.
of years ago
It's be- no.
involving people, and Cameroonians may not have been part of those business
Okay.
endeavors.
That sounds like excuses. What does that have to do with 2023?
We're catching up.
All right, I hope so. I know there's some older Cameroonians that have records, but I don't
do.
know
Oh,
any
they
new.
do. They
I don't know
do.
any fresh blood. Where are the new kids
Records
at?
and do I hear anybody else on soccer? Okay.
That's your.
94.
So this is how you're gonna do it. We're talking
Not
about
Olympics, was it?
we're talking about music, and you're gonna sidestep to soccer because you're losing the argument. That's
No,
that's,
because I remembered that random comment they put under Libianca, and I was like, no, guys, that's not it. They try to compare Eto,
Oh,
and I was
Eto.
like, that's really desperate.
she's not as
That's
big as
not. Let's
Eto.
not try to do that, guys. Let's just get
she's
more
not as
people
big
in
as
the
Eto.
industry. Yeah.
That's not it.
Yeah.
She's not even as big as Francis. She has a long way to go. I mean, she's on the board, so that's good, right? And having a female artist is great.
I'm glad when you Googled her though. It seems like she has a wide presence. So, or
So
she just online.
Look,
on Black
I
Culture
don't have
Channel.
any beef, but you were talking about Nigerians, and I'm like, I would probably try to stay in the
I
lane.
will. I'll just talk about especially their jollof rice and other things. What's the meaning of this?
Runtown, Burner Man, like Burner Boy, excuse me. Like there's too many
No,
artists.
as a diaspora, we have good music all together.
Now you're
But
gonna
it
talk
doesn't
about
mean-
diaspora. We're not talking about
It
diaspora.
doesn't mean that Cameroonians can't stand out. Give us credit where it's due.
You got one artist.
This is for women. Tantalizing. Okay, stop. I'm gonna keep doing ad-libs. We're wasting people's time here. No, not really. You guys like me, see me act crazy fool, right? Eh?
All right.
It's getting late, so somebody needs to
in order
sleep.
for her to stop, what we must do is we must like and subscribe.
This guy literally took me off camera. That's one way to do it. Tap the notification bell, shake it, shake it, shake it, but not in the club. Love y'all. See you next time.
Crazy.